Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing? Welcome to the Daily Dose of Disney.
It's hot outside. I
It's
stepped outside.
very hot. Very hot
It's
outside.
not fun.
You take a testosterone supplement to...
Are we going to take a testosterone supplement?
No, I don't think so.
I think I'm doing just fine.
I was looking at my phone here, and
An ad came
up. So
said I needed testosterone, so I might have to call my doctor.
Yeah. So sorry about that, everyone. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Doing okay.
I'm actually
Getting a little motivated around here.
I'm a little warm, actually.
It's hotter than Hades here.
It's about 100 degrees in our backyard at the moment. For those of you that are in any place else other than the United States, it is about 39 degrees. So that's a hot day.
And no humidity. It's such dry.
Yeah, it's a dry heat.
So when you open up the oven door and it's blowing at you.
Yeah, very much like an oven.
Yeah.
Very much like an oven.
Michelle the Quilter, Rachel of Disney, thank you. And there's Todd.
Hello, Todd. Yeah, Todd and I will be talking.
Mikey.
He asked for some help with something. So I have to answer some questions for him a little later.
Are they hard questions? Is it like a quiz, or what do you ask?
No, it's not. It's just suggestions I think, for his YouTube channel. Because Todd has his own baking channel, so he wants to consult with me. So I thought I can do that. Sure, no problem.
Everybody coming in?
Yeah, everyone's coming in right now. And so I work today, plus got some paperwork done, plus have a show for this weekend. Yep, he does.
That's good.
Yeah, it's very good. Always good to have your ducks in a row. Wow. May 25th, Memorial Day. 214 days until Christmas. And it's also, this is for D&G, it is National Wine Day. So dilly dilly. Hello, Arjons. 75 and raining. I wish it was raining. It would be very nice. Oh, well. It's not going to happen here. No rain for us. Not until September at the earliest, usually. Usually more.
Probably, yeah. We won't. I don't think we'll see any rain until maybe September.
Yeah, it's usually maybe October, even November before we usually see rain. So it can be very, very difficult. Hi, Donna. Look at the flag, her red, white, and blue hearts. Thank you, Donna. It is Memorial Day, everyone. Happy Memorial Day. Yeah. This day's May 25th. I've seen it mentioned. Happy birthday, Goofy. Yeah, Goofy was actually created and released on this day for the first time in 1932 in a Mickey Mouse cartoon called Mickey's Review. However, at that time, his name wasn't Goofy yet. It was introduced, and his name was Dippy Dog.
Dippy Dog, yes.
And dog was spelled D-A-W-G. Dippy Dog. So they acknowledged the fact that he was a dog from the beginning, just like Pluto, but for some reason, Goofy can talk, but Pluto can't.
Yeah.
I've never understood that, unless for some reason they consider them different breeds of somehow.
They're animomorphic differently.
They're Disney dogs, what can I say? But Goofy appeared as an audience member in Mickey's Review. He didn't become officially named Goofy until 7 years later in 1939.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while for them to get the name Goofy, but it fits. I love Goofy. Just like I love Hey Hey.
Yeah.
I kind of like the obscure, silly characters at times. Yeah. So that was 1932. A year later, 1933. Now this was a big deal. This was a huge deal.
It was huge.
Because this was really the first cartoons that the Disney company did that you could say inspired a lot of sequels. And that's because on this day, the Silly Symphonies cartoon, The Three Little Pigs, was released. Big deal. The Three Little Pigs were huge. They had sheet music. They had all sorts of merchandise available for it. It all started on this day with a premiere at Radio City Music Hall in New York for The Three Little Pigs. It was generally released 2 days later. But yeah, on this day, it was at Radio City Music Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, 1955. Another thing that created a huge following. The Disney film Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier was released in theaters. They took 3 episodes that had aired on the Disneyland television show.
Okay.
On television, it ran in black and white. But Walt, being the perfectionist that he is, filmed most of his productions in color. So he started this one in color. It wasn't aired in color on television, but in the theater, it was full Technicolor. Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, starred Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett was Fess Parker, and his buddy Georgie was played by Buddy Ebsen. Most people know Buddy Ebsen better as Jed Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies. So that film really inspired most of Frontierland at Disneyland. So you saw lots of influence from Davy Crockett. In fact, he was even there on opening day with Georgie. So, and of course, they also had the huge song, ballad, the Ballad of Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely was before my time, but it was super popular back then. Coonskin cap craze.
Coonskin cap. My brother Ron had a coonskin cap.
Did he get it at Disneyland?
I believe he did.
Okay.
I believe he did. They sold thousands of those things.
Oh yeah.
You know, those and mouse ears were the big sellers in the 50s. So really very popular. Let's move forward almost 30 years. This is a big one. Like I said, I think it was yesterday that we talked about the new Fantasyland.
The new Fantasyland opened.
Yeah. The new Fantasyland officially opened in 1983 on May 24th. But on May 25th, one of the rides that they'd had a problem with that day was a new ride for the land, Pinocchio's Daring Journey. It didn't open to the general public until this day. So today, May 25th, 1983, Pinocchio officially opened in Fantasyland at Disneyland.
That's cool.
That is a great attraction. If you've never seen it, it's really cool. It was the first time that I remember seeing fiber optic lights in one of the attractions at Disneyland. They had all these little lights that blinked on the walls.
Oh yeah, the
fireworks and things. They also had a very interesting special effect of a hologram. They had the Blue Fairy appear as a hologram. It was the first time they'd ever used one in a Disney park like that.
Has that ever been updated? Like a significant update?
Probably.
Pretty much.
Probably maybe to improve the lighting of it, but yeah, they've never really touched that effect.
Never really touched it. I mean, I think just very few little things.
The Pinocchio attraction really hasn't changed since day one.
No.
Now,
Snow White's getting really changed.
Yeah, Snow White's getting a complete redo right now. Hey, Ben. Hi, Kay.
So
and Michelle, welcome. Yeah, but Snow White, Peter Pan already got the treatment. They have some special effects that were added. Alice in Wonderland, a lot of great updates to it. So Snow White is next, and I'm sure they'll probably do something with Mr. Toad's Wild Ride as well. But we'll wait and see what happens with that one.
Again, parks need to open first.
Yeah. 1986, this day was kind of busy. It was the last day at Epcot to hear the original narration of Spaceship Earth. That guy's name was Lawrence Dobkin, and he had been that voice since the opening October 1st, 1982. But then they changed it to Walter Cronkite.
So Walter wasn't the first time?
No, he was not the original narrator.
But he was the Walter, that copy was around forever.
Everyone knew Walter's. That's what everyone remembers. Walter.
Yeah.
But he didn't start as the narrator until 1986. And they also introduced the song Tomorrow's Child at that time.
Tomorrow's Child.
Tomorrow's Child. Tomorrow's Child.
The guitar.
I'm not really that fond of that song. I know a lot of people do. I'm just not fond of it myself.
It's not a Sherman Brothers song, is it?
I actually don't remember that. So I'd have to look that up to see who composed the song. My guess it may be because they did a lot of music.
That was their last swan song, was Epcot. They did actually a lot of stuff first.
Yeah. Most famous one at that time was probably Making Memories.
Oh my gosh.
Mike Wheeler.
You're so generous.
Mike Wheeler, thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to say this. I want my PTV. Mike Wheeler with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. We'll be able to show something hopefully tonight that we've been able to do with our super chats. And we'll share that with you tonight on PTV Live. We'll talk about that later. Also on this day in 1986, who remembers something called Hands Across America?
I remember it vividly. We couldn't participate because it didn't really go to Reno.
No, I think it went through Las Vegas.
I think it went through Lost Wages and down to Southern California. I don't think it went But I remember it. It was a big deal. The media was out. There was chunks of it from like the Midwest to the West Coast. It was like hundreds of miles before because they couldn't just get everybody. It was kind of cheesy.
It went through a lot of barren areas, so you'd have to drive quite a ways to get to the end of the line. But thousands of people across the approximate total is 6.5 million people that participated in Hands Across America. They started on the East Coast and held hands for 15 minutes from sea to shining sea. And that's the way it was supposed to work.
I mean, it was huge, but I think it would have been done better now with social media because you can plan that in 24 hours. This was planned probably years and to get it out there. And I remember Hands Across America, 1986.
Pam's fam, welcome in.
Why did they do it again? Just for a feel-good moment? Was it Warm Fuzzies?
It was a warm fuzzy kind of thing. It started, it was actually a human chain, 15 minutes across the continental United States.
Of course, Ben knows. Ron
And
Ovada and Peter Stugard. Thank you, Benjamin.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
That was Tomorrow's Child. It wasn't.
Yeah, Tomorrow's Child. But it started actually in Battery Park in New York, and it ended at Long Beach in Southern California with the Queen Mary. And the reason why I brought this up was because Mickey and Goofy were part of Hands Across America in Long Beach. So it didn't quite get to Disneyland. It was near Disneyland. But other people that were involved were John Stamos, Kenny Loggins, and Reverend Robert Schuller. If you remember something called the Crystal Cathedral, that was Robert Schuller, his big church, and that's about 2 miles south of Disneyland. And I've actually sung there. I actually directed music at the Crystal Cathedral for my youth choir.
So it wasn't a joke as it was his crystal coffin or something because it had a giant crystal tower.
There was a tower, that's the Carillon Tower, and someone that I know said, I am sure that Robert Schuller had this Carillon Tower built so that he could be buried underneath it.
So we just call it the crystal coffin.
Yeah, Doug calls it the Crystal Coffin. So
it's a pretty building, but it's funny.
Yeah. And then 1998, the newly expanded Disney Orlando Animation Studio opened at Disney MGM Studios. It was a new Magic of Disney animation tour. It included an expanded viewing area where we were able to meet animation artists and see ongoing work. You know, they were actually doing things for Mulan at that time, just the last minute stuff when it opened, because everything for Mulan was animated in Florida.
Mulan was Florida. So I went in September of 98. So they just opened it up 3 months before I got there. Because it was huge. The animation building was huge.
And you went that.
I remembered it.
I loved that tour. I thought it was the most fascinating thing at the studios at that time.
I spent a lot of time in that area because of the animation.
Yeah.
This is actually really cool.
Yeah. On this day in 1999, the next year, the last 3 episodes ran back to back of Home Improvement. That was a show that ran for 8 seasons on ABC. Of course, it was produced by ABC and Touchstone Pictures or Touchstone Television. Huge show for ABC. Mega ratings. Tim Tooltime Taylor.
Tim the Tool Man?
Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Yeah.
And his show Tool
I watched
Time.
it as a kid.
Yeah. I never really watched too much of it. I watched a few episodes, but it just wasn't my thing.
It was the 90s.
Yeah.
You know.
It was the 90s. True. Very true. I'm sure everyone else remembers it too. So that was 1999. 2003, this happened at Disneyland, something called Mickey's All-American Pin Festival.
I'm sure I have the pins to this. I want to say I have the pins to this. I just don't know for sure. I mean, come on, that was 17 years ago, people.
Not to mention you've got thousands of pins.
I literally, when there was a pin event in that early odd decade, I probably have them.
And he would drag me along.
I'm sure of it, but also Donna got me that one set.
That's true. Donna
I
did.
don't know.
A very
for
good
sure.
friend of Doug's.
It's not
Her name
Donna,
was Donna.
but another Donna. I
Her
guess.
it was a Donna pre-YouTube.
Yeah, her name is Donna Burke, and
She lived close to Disneyland relatively.
Bray.
Yeah.
La Brea.
She was in
Bray.
no,
No,
no. She was north of Brea.
Brea. Diamond Bar.
Uh-huh.
That's where she was from.
It's the town of Diamond Bar.
They all kind of homogenize into one mass conglomerate of Southern California.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah.
One block is another city, another block, 2 blocks down is another one. It's definitely a funky area.
So the All-American Festival lasted 2 months. That is a long
You know what? It's driving me
time.
nuts. I'm going to see if I can remember if the pins.
Doug's going to look it up on his
see if
computer.
it's on
right
the
now.
internet.
I'll continue going on because I have another item here from 2001, to be honest. Pearl Harbor. Anyone remember that Pearl Harbor movie out there with starring Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett, Cuba Gooding Jr. Even Alec Baldwin was in it.
You said it was 2003?
Yeah, in 2003 it happened, or was it 2004?
Maybe see here.
Yeah.
May 25th, July 22nd.
Yeah.
Show me the pins.
That was the festival that I found
Show me the
in my
pins.
research. So anyway, this movie came out in 2001 in May. It was a blockbuster for Disney. And Doug, one of the first things that he told me about this one when we first met each other back man, that was years ago. But he saw this movie and went into the theater and came out of it.
I'm sure I have.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, there's a picture that Doug has of a pin.
I think I do.
Yeah, he's looking it up right now, but he's pretty sure he's got that pin, at least one of them. So this movie came out in 2001, and Doug was convinced nothing like this could ever happen again. It just can't.
I went to see it with my mom, and we saw it the opening weekend, saw it down in the town. And it was a big deal because it was a huge movie. And we saw it, we really liked it. And I said to myself walking to it, I'm like, oh, that will never happen to us ever again, getting bombed here in America. World War II, that was in the past. Well, fast forward exactly almost 3 months, we got attacked.
Yeah.
The terrorist attack
Yeah,
in
a little
September.
more than 3.5 months at that time 9/11 happened.
And I remember saying that. So don't say stuff or, it come true. It's kind of like click your heel 3 times and poof, you're going to. I sometimes feel that. So don't talk about it because eventually, who thought we'd be living in a pandemic too?
Yeah, exactly.
So kind of crazy.
2012, speaking of New York, let's go there. Disney Cruise Line was in New York this day, and this was actually the first day that Disney Cruise Line actually left port from New York City for an 8-night Bahamian cruise, and had an opportunity for people to spend a day at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
The ship would dock once. It docked once at Port Canaveral. Everyone got off the ship, went to Walt Disney World,
How do you
came
do
back.
that?
I don't know.
You can't just get off a ship, schlepping on that bus ride, which is about a 45-minute drive, an hour.
It's about an hour drive.
Then you get to the park and you try to do anything, and then you have to immediately get on the bus to get on the ship to go back. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's no fun. That's
No.
stressful.
That's very stressful.
I'm already shaking like a chihuahua thinking about it. Ew.
But it was the first trip that ship took out of New York City in 2012.
Okay.
The Disney Magic does all sorts of firsts like that. So.
That's Disney Magic.
And then on this day 2 years ago, the movie Solo, a Star Wars story, was released. I still
We haven't seen that.
have not seen that movie.
We haven't seen that.
And I believe it's on Disney Plus now.
Yeah, we haven't seen that.
So maybe I'll see it sometime because, people told me it's okay. It's just that it was Star Wars overload at that point. So many people had seen so many Star Wars things already coming from Disney that it was like, okay, you know what? I think it's time that we say no. And
That's when I think Bob Iger finally said, okay, I have a confession. I'm going to admit, I didn't give you a steady diet of Star Wars. I crammed it down your throat. So, and it was it was way too much Star Wars. Even fans that were like, this is too much Star Wars.
Yeah. So it was a lot. But so that happened. Oh, Todd, yeah, thank you. It is on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to watch.
Yeah, it is.
We need a life too.
Well, I've got moderators here in the room today. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
everybody.
everything that you've helped us with today. Really appreciate that help.
Nice.
More than you know. And to our support channels, I was talking earlier with D&G Explorers. They're looking forward to tonight's show here on our channel, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. More sunshine, please.
They're not going to drive us nuts, are they?
No, they won't.
Okay.
Two Real Geeks, the Orlando Guy, and Rob Fuzz. As a matter of fact, I just got an announcement from the Orlando Guy. He has part 4 of his ongoing series, The History of Orlando, premiering tonight. It's going to be going live tonight at some point. So if you have not yet subscribed to any of our support channels, please do so. And then also watch us tonight here on PTV, Pepper Tree Villa, for PTV Live. We're going to be doing something called 21 Questions. We're asking each other questions about summer. We have a host that will be joining us. That is going to be Jim of More Sunshine, Please. He will be with us tonight. We've already fed him our questions. I came up with 7. Doug had 7, and Ben has 7. We don't know what each other's questions are, so it's going to be all very spontaneous, very surprising, and I'm sure there will be a lot of funny results. Okay, thank you so much. Solo is coming to Disney Plus on July 10th.
We have mail
Thank
opening
you.
up tonight.
Yes.
This is from Miss
Lori
Eback.
That is a friend of Rachel's. And then we have one here.
Someone gave us something.
We have one here with a little special sticker on the back. It's Remy from Ratatouille. This one, I believe, is from Cargo in Canada.
So we will opening up that tonight.
Yeah, so those will be open on the show. But we're going to be answering 21 questions. Jim of More Sunshine, Please will be our moderator. And he'll be asking us the questions. So all of them are going to be a surprise to us. So everyone, don't forget, join us tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific for 21 questions. It's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. And for any other show that might be showing up on the Disney YouTube Network, go check out Dean's website, theliveplace.com. He has 90 plus channels that are advertised there. So yeah, go check that out. And we're advertised there. You'll see us there tonight as well, of course, for a show that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
All part of our huge Disney community. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the Daily Dose of Disney. It's been a lot of fun. We're looking forward to tonight's show.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Oh yeah, I see what you guys do. I didn't do it probably the way I should, but I did it my way.
Yeah. So we all have our questions. Jim has them. I don't know how he's going to ask them to us. It's going to be a big surprise, I'm sure. But we'll see how that happens. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific tonight on Pepper Tree Villa here on YouTube. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this edition. We'll be back tomorrow with another version of the Daily Dose of Disney at the same time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. In the meantime, everyone, have a magical evening and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for everyone for joining us. And Michael, one more time, Mike Wheeler, thank you for that
Mike. Love you.
$1.99 super chat. You have no idea how much we appreciate that. Never expected, but always appreciate. Thank you, Mike. We will talk with you, everyone, later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.